It's my UFC 124 predictions. It's Xbox 360 35 here. First up, it's Thiago Alves against John Howard. Thiago Alves 22-6, 22 wins with 6 losses. John Howard 14-5. I think Thiago's gonna get it here. I think he'll come off a. He's come off a loss to John Finch, but I think he'll get on winning ways again. I think he'll get on. I don't think John Howard's the best, and John Howard's last match actually was a loss to Jake Ellenberger, what was meant to fight John Finch, what fought Thiago Alves and beat him before it was scrapped, John Finch's fight against Jake Ellenberger, because he's facing BJ Penn at UFC 127. Is it 127 or 126? Comment if you if I've got it incorrect. So I think Thiago Alves by TKO round 2. He'll just have too much power for John Howard. Next match is Joe Stevenson versus Mac Danzin. Joe Stevenson came off a last loss to George Sokolopoulos, ever how you say it. I think he's a great fighter. He was meant to fight Gomi at UFC Live on Versus 2. Never happened because of an injury, obviously. Matt Danzin 20 wins with 8 losses and 1 draw. Well, yeah. Joe Stevenson's 36-11 with no draws or anything. I think he'll have too much experience here. Joe Stevenson, I think he'll get the job done by decision. I think he'll get the job done. I don't rate Matt Danzin. Somebody else on YouTube been talking to on one of his videos. I don't think he's quality. You can see he had a last loss to Matt Wimman, wasn't it? Somebody like that. It was controversial. Would he have won though? I don't rate him, and I never have since I've seen him in the UFC. So I'm gonna go, yeah. Next match is Jim Miller versus Charles Oliveira. Jim Miller 18 wins with only 2 losses, and Charles Oliveira is undefeated, 14-0. Jim Miller's on a 5 fight win streak. Last guy he beat was Jason Tebow. Yeah. Last match for Charles was Efren Escudero, what got cut out of the UFC. What I thought was right, because I like him. I liked him. He was a good fighter, but he'll go to Strikeforce or something. So I'm going for Jim Miller by unanimous decision. I think he'll have too much power. I know Charles, I think, is bigger than him, but Jim Miller's a good fighter. I think he's one of them what can just get the job done, really. Do I think he'll get a title match soon? I don't think yet. It's a long way off. So yeah, I'm going for decision, Jim Miller. Next match is the co-main event. Stefan Struve versus Sean McCorkle, I think it is. Stefan's got a 24 wins with 4 losses. Sean McCorkle 10-0. Stefan's last match was against Christian Marcraft. I thought that was I thought he came back well there, because he was getting dominated. I think if it did go to decision and he carried on Christian Marcraft like that, think he would have lost Stefan Struve. He's a big guy, both are big actually. Stefan Struve 6'11", huge. Sean McCarthy's 6'7", bit bigger than Christian Marcraft, because Marcraft was 6'6". Didn't make much difference. And I'm going for Stefan Struve by KO round 1. He wants that KO. I think he'll get it. I think he'll be too good for him, too powerful. Next match, the main event, eagerly anticipated, is George St. Pierre versus Josh Koscheck. Yeah, not very good with my names. George St. Pierre, 20 wins with 2 losses. Josh Koscheck, 17 wins with 4 losses. George St. Pierre is on a 7-fight win streak. Last match was against, was it Dan Hardy? Yeah. Koscheck's last fight was against Englishman Paul Daly. Obviously Paul Daly made a silly move there, punching him at the end. Wasn't the hardest punch I've seen, but it was a punch. And I'm English, but I liked him. He cannot do that though. Cannot do that. Obviously Paul Daly is versing is Scott Smith this Saturday at Strikeforce, headlined by Henderson versus Bobaloo 2. So back to George St. Pierre versus Koscheck. George's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He showed some good Jiu-Jitsu against Dan Hardy, but Dan was just great defence, great submission defence. But I'm going with George St. Pierre. I think he'll get that submission round 2. So there's my UFC 124 predictions. Don't forget to subscribe to Xbox 360 35. See ya.